Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hip Horse. Tommy D along with Johnny Lowe. Thanks for joining us. I know we've been MIA for a little bit, been working on some things over the summer. My man Johnny Lowe, claiming a horse. We got a video coming up. We've been working on some extra media. Johnny, my man, we're here for the Pennsylvania Derby. That's why we're here. But how you been doing, my man?
Been doing fantastic. Really great summer for us. Overall, we had a really fun meet at Del Mar. Like you said, talking about claiming a horse. We actually did somewhat of a documentary on it, and we look forward to being able to put that out there for all the viewers in Hip Horse Land and let you guys share in the experience and see what it was like and really what it takes to do it.
Yeah, congratulations, Johnny. It was awesome to be a part of the process and seeing everything. I know it meant so much to you. So stay tuned to that video. Hopefully we'll get out in the next couple of weeks for all you horse racing fans. Main thing, Breeders' Cup is about 42 days away, Johnny. Getting excited. We are going to look at the Pennsylvania Derby. It is not a win-in-your-in race. We have one more win-in-your-in race for the Classic. That's going to be the Awesome again. We've got lots of win-in-your-in for Breeders' Cup races still in play. So we're going to start focusing on those races. Johnny, always good to have your pedigree knowledge with us. Should we go ahead and take a look at the Pennsylvania Derby?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great race. It's $1 million purse at stakes for these 3-year-old colts and possibly geldings. I haven't looked at everybody, but I would assume most of them are colts. This race has had some pretty good winners in the past. They didn't run it last year, so last year it got scrapped. There was a lot of issues with the pandemic. The last horse to actually win the race was Math Wizard from the Saffie Joseph barn. So it's gonna be interesting this year to have it back in there and have some. We have a couple of quality contenders in here. They made noise down the Triple Crown Trail, and we had a horse that actually won the Kentucky Derby, but he's not going to run in this one. I guess they're going to scratch him out of there for post position reasons, whatever it is. And then another one that I was kind of looking forward to, actually might have been my sleeper in the race, Keep Me in Mind. I think shortening up to 1 1/8 miles helped that horse a little bit. Apparently Connection said he has an abscess on his foot. He's going to go ahead and skip this one, but he's danced almost every dance to the point so far. So a couple big scratches, but still a really good field.
Yeah, Johnny, like you said, Keep Me in Mind, very gutsy horse. Wanted to see this one run here, but what are you going to do? Obviously, you got to do what's best for the horse. Hopefully, we'll see him real soon. Let's go ahead and take a look at this field. Let's run down the field, Johnny. Let's take a look at them pedigree-wise, and then we'll give out a couple picks here at the end. Let's start off with the one horse, FULSOME, morning line 12-1. This is before the scratches. Probably might go up, might go down. The trainer, Brad Cox, is going to be ridden by CHARUE. Your thoughts on the one horse here, FULSOME?
Yeah, so outstanding pedigree. He's by Into Mischief out of Flourish, who's by Distorted Humor. I believe that's the same cross that horse like Life is Good has. I'd have to check on the bottom side, but strikingly similar. And being in the Brad Cox barn, I mean, that's got to move this horse up a few points there. That guy just seems to – it's just unbelievable what he did with Essential Quality, Monomoy Girl. I mean, there's just Nick's Go at this point. Took that horse out of wherever it was, and I mean, he's probably the favorite for the Breeders' Cup Classic at this point. So between the pedigree and the trainer, it's hard to just say, hey, I'm going to dismiss this horse at a long price. One thing I will say is I think the pace is going to set up for him as well. So even though his speed figures aren't quite what everybody else is, I have a feeling this could be a sneaky horse in there that he might outrun his odds.
Yeah, Johnny, late running style might help this horse, like you said. Facing the toughest competition of its career is going to be the toughest task here, I would say, Johnny. So talking about the one FULSOME there, let's move on to the 3 horse. We're going to skip over number 2, Keep Me in Mind, as you said, scratched just here. We're shooting this video on Thursday. So let's move on to the 3. Speaker's Corner, also 12-1. You have Bill Mott training, and you have Jose Ortiz aboard here. Your thoughts on the 3 horse, Speaker's Corner?
Yeah, so Speaker's Corner, he's a homebred for Godolphin. He's by Street Sense out of Tyburn Brook. Tyburn Brook is by Bernardini. I see a decent amount of stamina on the bottom side, and Street Sense isn't a stranger to throwing a horse that's won the race. McKinsey a couple years ago won the race, and the big question with Speaker's Corner right now, he had this giant buyer figure of 101 on his comeback. He hadn't ran since last October. He's got a bullet workout. Obviously, the horse is doing really well. The big question for him is the two-turn test. Is he going to be able to take the acid test against these kind of horses going 2 turns and only his 4th career start, second off a layoff? Pedigree-wise, I don't see why he couldn't do it. I have a feeling that he's going to probably be a little bit closer to the pace. It could be a really electric pace in this one, and not having that 2-turn experience, riding experience, sometimes, without having that, the fitness edge goes to the horses that do, and the experience that they have making that second turn. So, I mean, I think he's a horse that's going to get bet. He might be the wise guy pick going into the race, going, hey, this horse could sit off the pace. He's bred the route. 12-1. I see his line going down closer to 8-1, 7-1, somewhere around there. It's going to be very interesting. Mott's not a stranger to winning the big race either.
Yeah, you're talking the 3-horse Speaker's Corner coming off a 7 furlong win at Saratoga. Like you said, going 2 turns now is going to be the question here for number 3 Speaker's Corner. Let's move on to WEYBURN at 12-1. This one is going to be trained by Jimmy Jerkins and ridden by Paco Lopez. Your thoughts about WEYBURN, the 4-horse?
So WEYBURN's a horse in the Gotham that upset the card at almost 47-1. That was, at the time, it was a real shocker. I did like his pedigree a lot, but just thinking about him beating some of the horses that were in there, it was just like, I don't think so. And he came in, he ran that huge race, and he followed it up with disappointing 4th in the Woodward Memorial. It was a hot pace that day. None of the horses that were in the front were doing very good in any of the races. You kind of wanted to close. The horses in last and dead last ended up winning and coming in second. So give him another shot in the Pegasus. Loses by a neck to Mandaloon. Ran a huge race. At the time, Mandaloon was basically the guy. I mean, that was a horse everybody was looking at, even above Essential Quality. Comes back in the Jim Dandy against Essential Quality, keep me in mind. And he runs 4th by 6 lengths. Never really got into the race. I mean, he was second by a head about halfway through, but you could tell it just wasn't going to be the race for him. At some point, this horse is either going to need to step up against company like this, or we're looking at a horse that's going to be maybe not really a graded stakes type horse, maybe just a high allowance horse. Really good horse, and I think that he could do it. It's just he's going to have to make a jump to win this one.
Yeah, Johnny, I expect WEYBURN to be up there in the early pace, and he might have trouble against some of these bigger horses and maybe faster horses. So I think it's going to be a challenge. I think the best races are coming at 1 16th or less, so we'll find out about WEYBURN at 12-1. Let's move on to number 5, I Am Redeemed. We got a 20-1 here. This is going to be trainer Penny Pierce. It's going to be ridden by jockey Abner Adorno. Some combos I'm not too familiar with. Tell us your thoughts and your views on the 5-horse, I Am Redeemed.
Yeah, so I Am Redeemed. Horses by Redeemed out of Smarty Jones. It's a Pennsylvania bred. So I guess if he wins, he's the hometown hero here. The horse really hasn't done anything wrong. He made in special weight first time out, won by 3, came back, lost by a length in a pretty good race. Won an allowance race and then won a non-graded stakes race. The class jump for him compared to what he's been running against is going to be beyond significant. He has a little bit of speed. I don't know if it's the type of speed that's going to keep up with these horses. I guess we're gonna see what the tactics are with Adorno, who, like you, I'm not very familiar with, but looks like he has a decent win percentage in the trainer this year, 25% at this meet and 24% overall for the year. Seems like whoever Penny is doing a pretty good job at Parx.
Yeah, local success down there, and like you said, Pennsylvania bred. What a story it would be to win the Pennsylvania Derby. Might be a very big uphill battle with this class, but strong local connections. You never want to count out sometimes. Maybe underneath, you never know. Number 6, Bourbonic, 12-1. We got a lot of prices here. We'll get down to the favorites here pretty soon. Bourbonic here is trained by Todd Pletcher and is going to be ridden by Kendrick Carmouche. Your thoughts on number 6, Bourbonic?
Yeah, so Bourbonic is kind of an interesting horse. I don't think he really has the talent that some of the horses have in this race, but the pace might set up for him. It looks like there's just a ton of speed. I think that all these horses are kind of looking at the other horses like they might have a little bit of speed, but we might be a little faster. If we can get an early lead, maybe we can slow it down. Sometimes these races set up for the closers. Bourbonic coming in, he's by Bernardini out of Dancing a Fleet, who's by Fleet Alex. The Bernardini line goes back to APND Seattle Slew. It's been doing really well in the Pennsylvania Derby lately. Math Wizard, he's a horse that's by that line. West Coast is by Flatter, who's by APND. Frosted One, he's by Tappet, who's by Pulpit, who's by APND. The last few years, these horses have been coming in by that APND line, and they've been doing really well. So I wouldn't totally throw them out. To Honor and Serve is by APND. He won the race in 2011. So Bernardini's actually sired horses that have won this race. I think pace-wise, long shot, this could be the horse that's forgotten about in the betting public. He's definitely going to have to improve off of what he's been running, but second off that little layoff that he had from June to August, I don't see why he wouldn't improve here.
Yeah, Todd Pletcher, a great trainer, placing the horse here. So still thinking highly of it. Getting beat pretty good in his grade 1 attempts here, but who knows if the pace is really fast, maybe could run him down at the end. Number 7, Hot Rod Charlie. Here we go. We're going to get to some of the bigger known horses here. 5-2 Morning Line is going to be trained by Doug O'Neill and ridden by Flavian Pratt. Hot Rod Charlie, tell us what you think here, Johnny.
So Hot Rod Charlie, he's not going to get the credit for the win the last race that he had. Obviously, there was that incident with Midnight Bourbon, and they disqualified him. But he beat Mandaloon in a race that was cutthroat. I mean, they were neck and neck, head and head, and he showed some serious guts there to get that grade 1 win, then disqualified. He's by Oxbow, who's the Awesome Again line. The Awesome Again line, it's pretty unbelievable, that line. Ghost Sapper is by Awesome Again. You can go through it, and it's a really good line. And on the bottom side, what's interesting about Oxbow's bottom side is it's the 1X family through the C's Tizzy Mare, which is the same as Tiz Now. It's basically Midnight Bourbon, number 8 horse we'll get to in a second, who's by Tiz Now. His top side is basically the same as Hot Rod Charlie's bottom side. When you look at the family line, it's really interesting, actually. The 1X line is my favorite fem line. Essential Quality actually is the 1X fem line. So I wouldn't be surprised in a few years if Oxbow kind of throws a few more big winners like a Hot Rod Charlie. On the bottom side of his pedigree, being out of Indian Miss. Indian Miss is the broodmare of Mitoli. So she's not a stranger to dropping a fast horse either. I can see where he gets his speed from. On the top side, he gets that nice two-turn type of dig and drive. And so he's done really well, obviously. He ran a huge race in the Belmont. This is the horse to beat. 5-2 with Medina Spirit scratching and Keep Me in Mind scratching. He's probably going to be even money, I would say. I'd be surprised if he didn't go off at that. He's run huge races. The question is he going to be part of that pace, and how fast is that pace going to be? Is that going to be the detriment, or is he just good enough to overcome it?
Yeah, Johnny, talking number 7, Hot Rod Charlie here in the Pennsylvania Derby. And I agree with you. If he wants to justify himself as one of the top 3-year-olds here, this is the time to do it in the Pennsylvania Derby. He shows up and wins this race. He's up there on that list, Johnny. So I like that. Before we move on to number 8, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, ring that bell. We're going to go out and give our picks here. If you're part of the channel and you're part of the crew, throw down in the comments who you like. We like hearing what everyone likes here. All right, let's move on to number 8. I forgot to throw out that little pitch earlier. So number 8, Midnight Bourbon here, Johnny, trained by Steve Asmussen, going to be ridden by Ricardo Santana Jr. Your thoughts on number 8, Midnight Bourbon?
Midnight Bourbon is a horse that's just been steadily improving, running big race after big race. He ran a nice second in the Preakness, actually beat Medina Spirit in there. He ran second to Hot Rod Charlie in the Louisiana Derby, chased them all around the track, and then kind of at the end, Hot Rod Charlie pulled away. I think that their best tactic is to get this horse out to the front. He gets brave on the front end. His last race losing to Essential Quality by a neck in the Travers. That was huge. Midnight Bourbon is by Tisnow. He's out of Catch the Moon. Catch the Moon's been just an incredible broodmare. Everything she's dropped, it's basically all colts or horses at this point. Some of them are a little older now, and they're all black type winners. So pedigree-wise, this horse has everything it takes to be able to compete here with Hot Rod Charlie. And again, I guess this rematch from the Haskell where he got tripped up and the jockey fell off. I think Hot Rod Charlie and Mandaloon were pulling away from him, but he was right up there and part of the pace doing some heavy lifting, and he came back strong. So I think this is obviously a 5-1 morning line. I think that's going to go down a little bit, and he's going to be the immediate competition for Hot Rod Charlie based upon what the handicappers are looking at.
Yeah, talking number 8, Midnight Bourbon, big, beautiful horse. Also another one that's trying to justify itself as in that top 3-year-old category. And, it's a very gutsy horse, watching that last race with Essential Quality in the Travers, pretty impressive, Johnny. Okay, let's move on to number 9. Oh, number 9's Medina Spirit. Bob Baffert deciding to scratch here. Johnny, your thoughts? Why you think Medina Spirit scratch? Do you think it was the pace, or do you think maybe something else is wrong, or your thoughts there?
I mean, initially looking at the form sheet, there's just so much speed in this race. Ship him out there. Maybe it rains. Who knows? All that speed. Maybe that's just not the right spot. Maybe keep him at home. The older horses that we have on the West Coast circuit that he'd be facing in the Awesome again, maybe they want to take a shot against them instead. Probably going to be a sunny day. That'd be my best guess. I know he said he didn't like the post position, but who knows? I mean, I don't. That's the only logical thoughts that come into my mind. He's working really well. He just shot a Baffert bullet, going 6 furlongs and 112 and change. So I think the horse is doing pretty well. He came off that big win against Rock Your World in the Shared Belief, but I don't know. He said he didn't like post position. That's what we're going to go with. So
hey, I guess we'll find out. So keep your eyes on Medina Spirit, where he goes next. But Johnny, this is a lot of the stuff that people don't see on putting the horses in the right races and who they're going up against and whatnot. In our little short documentary, we do talk about that a little bit. So something to stay tuned to. But let's get to number 10 on our list. Number 10 is going to be American Revolution, 15-1, another price. Todd Pletcher trains another one here, and Luis Saez is going to be aboard. Your thoughts here on the number 10 horse, American Revolution. Love the name.
Yeah, so another horse that hasn't done anything wrong. He's won all 3 of his races this year. He broke his maiden by a neck, and he's came back to win a couple of New York homebred stakes races by 7 1/4 lengths and 5 lengths. The horse is by Constitution. He's out of Polly Freeze. Constitution's that AP&D Seattle Slew line that we talked about earlier. So pedigree-wise, I see this horse kind of fitting in. He was a $275,000 purchase, so somebody thought that he had a little bit of talent. I think he's going to be up close to the pace. I think this is another race where he's going to be probably sitting in the second or third spot. He has decent speed. I don't know. This is a huge jump for him. So, we're definitely going to see if he's going to sink or swim. He only has 4 races under his belt and 2 routes, so he's given up a decent amount of experience to some of the horses that are favored. But obviously, Pletcher's no stranger to winning a race with a long shot, as we saw with Bourbonic earlier in the year in the Wood.
Yeah, number 10, American Revolution, and Todd Pletcher, like you said, New York bred, just beating up on New York bred competition. Now it's going to be up against its toughest task here in the Pennsylvania Derby. Okay, that's a quick rundown of all 8 horses in the field. We did have 2 scratches. That's Keep Me in Mind and Medina Spirit. Okay, Johnny, now let's get right to it. Let's do our picks. But before we do that, I'll give us one more quick plug here. Hit that like button if you enjoy this video. Ring that bell for notifications. We're going to have more horse racing content coming for you here on the Hip Horse. All right, Johnny, should we do a top 3, your picks, or what do you think here? How do you want to play this?
I said we go with the top 3.
All right, here we go. Let's go number 3. Who do you like?
Number 3, I'm going to take the 1 horse. I think I'm going to go with FULSOME. I think that he sits off the pace. He's not too far back. He gets first run. And just something about Brad Cox, Florent Giroux coming out to ride the horse. I don't think he's sending him out here just to take a lap around the track and say they ran in the race. I think that he's sending a horse that if anybody's going to upset the field, it could be this one.
Yeah, I kind of like this one quite a bit too, Johnny. I'm going to throw in one other one because I agree with you on the top 2, I'm pretty sure. But I do like number 10, American Revolution. We just talked about 3 for 3 in this 3-year-old campaign is stepping up. But Todd Pletcher, that Constitution sire, improving numbers. Everything says this horse is improving. So at 15-1, I'm going to put him in my 3rd pick, number 10, American Revolution. Let's move on to your second choice. Who's your second pick here, Johnny?
So it's going to get a little chalky here, but hang with us. Midnight Bourbon. We've been on the Midnight Bourbon trail almost all of his races. We've been chasing after this horse, and the reason why I don't have him number 1 is because Hot Rod Charlie just keeps beating him. But like we said, he is improving, and I do think that if he progresses off of that run that he had in the Travers, he could be a beast here. I think that he gets brave on the front end, and we see if somebody can catch him. The mile on an eighth should play right into his hands. I think that's a good distance for him, and he's developed into where he's got enough speed where I think he can go out in front of most of the horses in here.
Yeah, Johnny, a Midnight Bourbon, big horse, second nosed out, like we said, to Essential Quality. Winchell Thoroughbreds, what a great outlet there, great owner. Second in the Preakness, second in the Louisiana Derby. Steve Asmussen really has this horse tuned up. He's got his boy Santana Jr. aboard. 107 buyer last time, Johnny. This is the highest of the bunch. So if you're paying attention to those speed figures, that's something you pay attention to. That's a Midnight Bourbon, number 8. It's going to be 5-1. That'll probably jump down a little bit due to the couple scratches. Number 2 on our list for the Pennsylvania Derby. All right, number 1, everyone. I think you could probably figure this out if you listen to what Johnny said through the preview of his pedigree picks here for the Pennsylvania Derby. But who's our top pick, Johnny?
I think we're gonna take Pratt, O'Neill, and Hot Rod Charlie. This horse has just done nothing but step up ever since they put the blinkers on. He won the first time, and just hasn't looked back. Last race he ran without blinkers, actually. I think that could have been a reason why they had that incident. But I just see him being a little bit heads and tails above the field right now, and unless Midnight Bourbon can hang with him and run him down, or something freaky happens where there's a little bit too much pace set up, I think he's the horse to beat. I'd expect him to win this race.
Yeah, Hot Rod Charlie, 102 buyer last figure. You got O'Neill Pratt, finished second in the Belmont, third in the Derby, first in the Louisiana Derby. This horse has a lot of class, Johnny, and out here in California, we are very close to the connections, and there's a lot of hype on Hot Rod Charlie here out in the Del Mar area. So number 1 on the list is going to be Hot Rod Charlie. Thanks for joining us. We did run that through the Pennsylvania Derby. Before we get out of here, Johnny, is there anything else you want to say to everybody?
Yeah, guys, stay tuned. So like we said before the summer started, that we're going to work on some big things over the summer, and we're putting it together for you. I think we're going to have a really interesting documentary coming out, and we're going to try to follow some of the bigger races that lead up to the Breeders' Cup. We're going to do our Breeders' Cup lead-ins this year and give you our picks. So pay attention, stay tuned, and hopefully we come up with some winners.
Yeah, always a good time, Johnny, talking horses with you. Love your pedigree knowledge. As you said, we're watching the Hip Horse. Johnny Lowe, Tommy D, we appreciate you. More Breeders' Cup information. We're 42 days away, everybody. So thanks again, and we'll catch you next time here on the Hip Horse.